Proxy war is a doctrine, it's an actual military doctrine, that says that you create what's known as intrastate conflict, which means conflict internal to a state, and then external wealth parties fund the conflict in the state. That way, the two external parties that are in conflict don't have to waste any lives. It protects them diplomatically, it protects them socially, it protects them militarily. They're only spending resources in an interstate conflict. The interstate conflict has always been inside Ukraine. Eastern Ukraine and Western Ukraine have always been in conflict. We just didn't realize it until Russia invaded because nobody paid attention to Ukraine. Same thing in Israel. There's always been conflict between the Palestinians and the Israelis. We just didn't really pay attention to it until October 8th. So the conflict that you're talking about is not a symptom, it's a strategy. And the strategy is that the United States can drain Russian resources without draining American lives, which makes it easy for the United States to continue draining strategic resources from Russia. And then NATO's watching the same thing happen, and NATO's the one that has the most to lose if Russia is strong, so then that's why they also pile in support. That's the strategy. That has been the United States strategy since the end of World War II. Who rebuilt Japan? The United States. Who rebuilt the UK? The United States. Who rebuilt Germany? Who rebuilt France? All the United States. Is it any surprise that all of these countries since World War II have then been close diplomatic, political, and economic allies? No. And guess what they all have? They all have very similar sheds because we built their political systems from World War II based on ours, right? That's the American model. That's been how America has grown economically so quickly all over the world. Guess who's mimicking that model now? China. The real conflict between the United States and China, nobody can define it. Trump calls it a trade war because we have a bunch of cheap Chinese goods. That's not the problem. The problem is that Xi Jinping understands that what he wants for China is for China to be a net exporter of high technology. Who's the only other net exporter of high technology? The United States. The United States makes electric vehicles, China makes electric vehicles. The United States makes telecommunication, China makes telecommunication. That's the conflict, because what China is doing is giving the rest of the developing world an alternative to the United States. Well, if just like any other business, if I make coffee and you make coffee, we're in competition for the person who wants to buy coffee. So now we're fighting over that person. Whoever wins that person wins more money. Whoever wins that person wins repeat buyers. And now I might lose my company. My coffee shop might shrink and your coffee shop might grow because this person is choosing your coffee when it used to be only mine was available.
Freedom! So fresh, son. Freedom!